I'm back. Second day. Gonna go ahead and do this imperfectly. My challenge to myself is to keep on posting and keep flexing this video muscle until I become fluent in the way that I want to be. And I know that that is coming. So bear with me. But I have a message today. First of all, I woke up extremely excited, and I haven't felt that way about doing this since God told me to in August. Through a series of events, it took me until yesterday to post, just go ahead and post my first video. And I'm decided that I'm just going to keep on doing this like people have told me to. Get used to being on camera and actually put it out there so that you can, whatever. But I wanted to tell you today, like I said yesterday in the video, I called in specific people to see these, to come across them. And so you may be going through the same thing that I'm going through. And I'm challenging you right now. And I'm telling you, if there's some action that Spirit told you to take it. Because especially if he's gone silent now because you didn't take it, I think that's what the problem is. I think it was blocking the energy for me, for getting this going and getting my creativity flowing. So like I said, flex my muscles in this area and get to be where I know that I'm supposed to be. I'm absolutely terrified of public speaking. And so that's another reason why I know that's probably where one of my biggest gifts are. And he actually told me that I'm supposed to be doing this in no uncertain terms. So if you are supposed to be doing something, do it. And so the message today that I heard when I woke up was to receive like a child. And it made me think of Matthew 18, where the disciples come up and they ask Jesus, like, hey, who's greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And he's thinking like Jesus beats. I mean, he's more patient than we are as humans. I mean, he was actually human in that moment. So I don't know. Maybe he did get a little bit impatient with him. But he basically said, he brought a child in the midst of them and said, unless you become like a child, you won't even enter the kingdom of heaven. That was probably like a huge bomb drop to them, because if they're his disciples, they've been following him. I'm sure they thought they had some kind of VIP access, right? Like I would have. But when he lays that bomb, I'm sure it made them all start thinking at that point. And he said, unless you humble yourself, was in the next line, unless you humble yourself. And it's funny because I was thinking that, but then when I looked up the definition in my 1974 dictionary of the word humble, the word unassuming is in that definition. And I thought, see, I knew it. Like they totally were assuming that they were in, and they probably were even thinking like, oh, he's probably going to say that we're the ones that are going to be greatest, right? That's not how he rolls. He's no respecter of persons. So anyways, that reminded me of back a few years ago when I read that verse. I decided to start studying children because I wanted to see all the ways that children were, not just being humble. There's always more to it if you choose to find it. And so I'm like, okay, where are all the other different ways how are children in other different ways? So I thought, well, number one, they trust people. They have no reason, especially in the 4 to 6 year old range. They haven't had enough happen to them yet they haven't had enough happen for them to not believe and trust in their parents and what they tell them is true. If they're from a functional family background, somewhat functional. I mean, most of us have some dysfunctional going on and a little bit of crazy going on in all of our families. You can't tell me it doesn't exist in every single one, because it does. Anywho, the other thing is that they ask for things. They have no problem asking for things. Gosh, sometimes you just want them to stop asking for things. And when they do ask for things and you say that you'll get it for them, if it's not going to be like a right away kind of thing, they don't sit around and think of how they're going to make that happen. They let their parents figure that out. And a lot of times they just go on about their business. Oh, cool, I get that. I'm going to have that, and they just go on about their business. They do whatever they're doing. They don't sit and worry about it. They're not anxious about it. They're unattached. They're unattached to the outcome, and they surrender it up to their parents. They leave that in their hands. And the other thing is, when they are given a gift, they receive that gift with such excitement. and some of them rip open the package. They're all excited about it. They can't wait to see what's inside. And and then when they see what's inside, they're so excited about it. It's just great. Actually, I know someone who's an adult that receives that way. And she is one of my most favorite persons in this world to give a gift to. I love it. I just love it. It makes it all, it was already worth it anyway, but it just makes it so much more worth it. And the other thing is, if you ask them what they want to be when they grow up, they'll tell you, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a policeman. I'm just going with standards. My grandson wants to be a basketball player. And they're so excited when they say it. And they're not following it up with, but, I don't have enough money for that certificate that's needed for it. Or I'm not good at this subject, so maybe I'm not going to be able to do that. That was one of my things when I was growing up always. As math. Math is absolutely something that can put me in a fetal position in like 5 seconds flat. But those are just the kind of different ways that I thought about when you think about a child, and think about that kingdom of heaven and what he's really saying there. It's all about belief and receiving well and letting go of the attachment of the outcome, going with the flow, letting God work it out. Life doesn't have to be so hard. I'm teaching myself this as I talk, by the way. I'm definitely not there yet, but I'm gonna be. I'm way further than I was before the start of this year, before the start of the last couple of years, as I've really been working on the manifestation thing and asking and receiving and believing, the believing part. But after all this that I was looking at and I was thinking, wow, it's cool. It's Christmas time. What a perfect time. I challenge you to look at the kids this year, if you're around any. Look how well they're receiving the gifts. Look at their excitement and let that sit in your soul for a minute. And so every day I pull a card out of this energy deck that I have and a deck that is basically biblical verses. And today, here's the one that I pulled. It's John 15:7. And it says, if you abide in me and my words abide in you, you shall ask for what you will, and it shall be done unto you. And let me tell you, I've been reading the Bible since 2004, and it's different things come alive at different times. But one thing I do know is there are so many verses like this in the Bible that tell us, as a man thinks, so is he. You have not because you ask not. I want you to, a challenge for us is to pay really close attention to how you're receiving things, whether it be compliments, gifts, and how much do you really believe when you think of something that you want? Do you even ask for it? Are we even asking for the things that we want? Because a lot of times I don't think I am. And sometimes I think being specific can kind of I don't know. Sometimes I don't think we have to be so specific, but I think there's some things we do need to be specific about, because not for him, but not for our spirit or anything, but for us, so that we have something we can actually visualize. That's all part of this manifestation thing, is visualizing and feeling as if you already have it. That's one of the main things that I'm working on right now. So I think you are too. Or maybe you're getting ready to be. Or maybe you have already conquered this and you'll be able to offer me some insight. Lay it in the comments. Anything that, always, please. I'm here to help you if you need help, but I also, if you're further along than I am, offer me some things, if you have anything, any kind of insight for anything that I said or whatever, I welcome it always. And so I thought that was kind of cool that was the card that I picked today. And I just wanted to share that with you. And have a great night. And don't forget the challenge. How well are you receiving? Are you even asking for anything to receive? And watch the children. Keep watching the kids. Keep watching the kids around you. Not in a freaky way either, because, that's just gross. That's just freaky. But in a healthy way, watch the kids around you. Learn from the kids. Humble yourself. Be like a kid. I always try to stay, what's the word? I'm not afraid to learn. I'm teachable. That's what it is. Kids are teachable. Most of them, anyway. Stay teachable, stay humble, and watch the kids and see how they are and ask and believe. All right. Until next time.